Sami Zayn apologizes to KO. Former WWE Women's Champion makes a return. Find out what's next on the GOW Hood Report. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen,
It's
thank
perfect.
you
Right where
once
it's at.
again
Right
for
where it's
tuning in
at.
to another episode of GOW, the Generation Wrestling Podcast. As always, it's yours truly, the 29-year-old piece of gold, the franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's Resident Tribal Chief. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka EC's Resident Isaac Hayes, King Tuco in the building, bro. Was good.
Man, you know what it is. You know what it do, man. It's the Hood Report, man, with your king and your tribal chief, man. We just
Yes, sir.
chilling, doing what we do, man. Gonna talk that talk, man, and chill with the people, man. You know what it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. We got Earl in the building already. Earl,
Earl,
what it do?
Earl, the boo, baby, the bamboo, baby.
All right, so
What's
normally
happening?
we give y'all the Monday night block party, but hey, the king and I, we decided, hey man, look, we tired, and yesterday just wasn't worth it, and it wasn't a lot that happened yesterday. As it was just a bunch of fluffs and frills and whatnots. Pretty much getting us set on the official road to WrestleMania. Now that we got the Royal Rumble out of the way, we got the Elimination Chamber out of the way. Joe, the LCJ says St. Clair, beware. What's up?
You know
How
what
you
it is,
doing? How
man.
you
You
doing?
know
How
what it
you
is. Know what it is.
doing? Yes, sir. All right, man. But with that being said, so we coming to you live with the GOW report, and you know how we do, man. When we shoot from the hip, we give y'all, what I'm saying, the best of the best. We trim the fat, and we talk about what's important. And the first thing I want to talk to you about, sir, coming off the heels of a crazy night at
Hmm.
Elimination Chamber in Montreal. We got that boy Sami Zayn starting off the show, coming down to the ring. But before we had Sami come down to the ring, we had a recap of what happened with Sami and the bloodline and everybody the night before. Sami comes out to the ring again. The crowd is going absolutely buck wild for our guy. And then Sami pretty much he cuts a promo and he says, "Hey, look, I'm sorry I let you guys down. I said I promised I was going to, come out with a victory. It did not happen, but I got to right some wrongs because the story must continue. But even though the story is going to continue, we got to finalize this next chapter. And this next chapter involves apologizing to a certain somebody. And he calls out Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens comes out, and Sami Zayn says, "Hey, look, I was wrong. I apologize. You tried to tell me I wasn't listening. I didn't hear it. I
Too
didn't
late.
understand what you're trying to let me know. And I just want to let you know, man, I don't want to go against the bloodline alone." And Kevin Owens pretty much stopped him in his tracks. He said, "Hey, look, what I told you at Survivor Series, hey, it's true. I mean it. I'm done with you. And if I got to go at the bloodline alone, so will you. And if you need help, go call your boy Jay." And he walked out of the ring. And too cold, I would say this before I ask you, what did you think of this segment? And KO and Sammy. I first with everything I just said. Let's start here. A lot of people were wondering, including myself. I'm not gonna leave myself out of this. How are they going to shimmy their way out of Sami Zayn losing in Montreal to Roman Reigns with so many people, even if there's a 1% chance, thought Sammy should have got it? Do you think WWE did a great job with how they handled that situation at the Chamber, and then where we went from last night on Raw?
Um, when you say handle it, you mean as far as the transition of Sammy losing, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I feel like we kind of expected him to lose, but I feel like WWE didn't drop the ball, which I feel like it wasn't the fact that he was going to lose. I think it was how he was going to lose and what happened.
well, what happened? I told you it needed to happen. The question mark was them getting into Canada because of the
Mhm.
legal issues that they had.
Yeah.
So that got okay. Let's push that to the side. They showed up, and they
Mhm.
did exactly what I thought that they would do. And what happened now that the only thing that didn't happen was I thought Jay would attack Sammy. I
Mhm.
thought he would show up and he would attack Sammy, and that shock of surprise to Sammy, and then therefore, Jay just, then, but Jay had the same thoughts and feelings as Sammy. So therefore, we got a different adage. We got that it
Yeah.
went back to that Jay Uso and Roman Reigns kind of storyline that started it all from the beginning. So
Right.
um, I didn't have a problem with the way it ended because we knew it was going to end in some shenanigans. Like if you thought that this was going to be a straight up, nah, this was going to end in shenanigans because that's the bloodline.
Yeah.
And regardless if you tired of it, but that's what heels do. I mean, the Four Horsemen did it for decades. Uh, Evolution did it when they ran.
Yeah.
DX did it when they ran. Every group does it when they run. It is what it is, man. That's part of the business. But as far as how they handle it, I thought they handled it good. And plus, you got to think about what happened at the end. Kevin KO came out, even though Sammy did lose. They got the one up on the Bloodline and Roman Reigns in the end, and they stood tall in front of the home crowd, even though
Yeah.
he lost, but still. And then he comes out and starts the show, and then it just picked up from that. So no, that was smart. Get it out the way, and then the whole thing with Kevin, because even if people did kind of boo it, but it's like y'all, why is the crowd acting all flashy? Like, why are y'all
Yeah.
forgetting like this man? This
Yeah.
man just been literally just said, "Look, I told you all this. You didn't listen to me, and you screwed me out a couple of times. So now I don't want to hear that. If you got a problem, hey, go call your boy."
Yeah.
Hey, Sammy, hey, Jay, come get your boy. All right, go get him. So I had no problem with that, and actually, I like that dynamic because if it goes the way I think it can go, it'll be like a big WrestleMania moment type of thing where maybe
Yeah.
they'll join together. He'll finally come together and they'll go up against. But now that we have that dynamic, we
Yeah.
now need the Jay Uso dynamic to happen. So they did the right thing by having this start Monday Night Raw. It was just Sammy and Kevin. Like this
Yeah.
is the one issue. All right. So now when we get to Friday, we got to deal with the bloodline. Because if you don't think Roman Reigns ain't showing up and they got something to say, somebody
Right.
got something to say. You ain't think Jay got something to say, or somebody's got something to say, and we gonna hear it. So, uh, yeah, and then even if you want to talk about Cody, I mean, but right now, I'm looking at it that this is done as far as Sammy and Roman, and that this is moving towards them versus the Usos for the tag team titles at WrestleMania, which I think they should have.
Yeah, and then following that, we had Zayn and Corbin. They had him at Sammy ended up picking up the victory. Then we got a segment with Dom and Rhea. Rhea says she's past Beth Phoenix, man. She got her eyes set solely on the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair and their match coming up at WrestleMania. But Dominic says in the meantime, he's gonna make it his life's goal to go to SmackDown and whoop his dad's ass. So I guess eventually we are gonna end up working our way towards that. And I'm not gonna lie, dude. Now, like,
I mean, if you thought Rhea was gonna go to SmackDown to talk shit to Charlotte, you didn't think Dom was gonna follow
yeah,
behind like a little puppy. Come on, man. You knew that was gonna happen. I mean, that's the reason why they had him go. And now it kind of makes sense why Ray ended up on SmackDown. I mean, outside of not quitting, but yeah, it is
and,
what it is.
and I would say that is something that it's long term storytelling. I would give them that because
Mhm.
I didn't anticipate Rhea Ripley being the anchor to a completely separate story as well because it makes sense.
She's
You
the
got
anchor to it all. She's
yeah,
the anchor to all of Judgment Day, to
yeah,
the Bad Phoenix stuff, to the Edge stuff. Like she's the anchor, man. She's been the antagonist. When
yeah,
you think about it, who's been the biggest antagonist of this group? It's been
yeah.
Rhea Ripley. She's been the one doing all the work. I mean, look, she didn't make Dom. Look, she choked Dom up at Ray's celebration, and that boy been in love ever since. Like, oh my God, I ain't never been manhandled like this by a big, strong woman before. Oh my God, I feel some type of way. And ever since then, we see what it's trend into now. So, nah, man. Nah, man, it's been Rhea Ripley. And like I said, the fact that she's going to fight Charlotte, cool. Dom's coming along with her because now Ray's got to worry about carrying Cross and his son. But now it's time to set up the most heinous thing that Dom. I feel like they need to take Dom's. They need to take whatever this is for him, and they need to take
Yeah.
it up another level. And he
So
needs to. The crowd needs to like really hate Dom. Like before WrestleMania, we really need to hate Dom
yeah.
before WrestleMania. Because you can really make this a big match now. Because now we're close to it. We're not months away where it's like, oh man, what are you gonna do? It's like now, okay, here you go. You got this. You got this small window. WrestleMania's April 1st.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? What we gonna do? So yeah.
And my thing is, Ray is such a lovable person, dude. And like Dom, at this point, it's then gone beyond, just a ungrateful child, right? It goes beyond, Ray now wanting to fight his son. It's like at this point, now these are two men. I can, as two fathers ourselves. I don't think we dream of the day we got to put our hands on our kids, on our sons. But at the end of the day, my daddy taught me, and I'm gonna teach my son, hey, you want to act like a man, you'll get treated like a man. And I think this is the dilemma that Ray is having or was having. But hey, look, at the same time, Ray, he got a wife at home too. You're not about to come up here and make me look like a less of a man in front of my wife.
Oh no no
No,
no no
no,
no
no.
no no no
That
no
ain't about to
no
happen.
no.
You ain't about to come whoop my ass every holiday in front of my woman.
But see, and here's the crazy dynamic about this.
Yeah,
The fact that they haven't had a one-on-one match yet,
yeah.
which leads to who could actually win this match. And we
Oh,
ain't got to get to that now. We got to
yeah,
predict. We ain't gonna get into that too
yeah,
much.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that also adds the element because they haven't had a match. You would have thought maybe at Survivor Series they would have had a match or something, but that didn't happen. So
mm-hmm,
it's like now, all right, or the Royal Rumble that didn't happen. Okay,
yeah,
so not Elimination Chamber that didn't happen. So it's like now we're gonna get the first match at
yeah.
WrestleMania. It won't be over. I don't think, depending on who wins. Because if
Mm,
Dom loses, I don't think it'll be over. But if Dom wins, I think it's over. I don't unless Ray wants to come back and finally give his son that manly beating he deserves. But we'll see if that doesn't lead up to it for WrestleMania.
bro, before I move forward, I want to get a couple of these comments in really quick. You know how we do.
Come on, man.
Uh,
Let's talk to the people, man.
Earl says Raw is very confusing. Nothing made sense as far as the storylines went. So he feels like none of the storylines really tied in yet. So
I
far.
mean, well, right now, like we said with the Sami and Kevin Owens, the storyline furthered there because now we know that even though it looked like they were going to be on the same team, they were going to help each other, they were going to be cool, they're not. So now that it is on Front Street that the fact that KO he don't forgive Sammy. Hey man, I'm gonna do what I do by myself. You do what you do and call your boy. That's further in the storyline because now we gotta wait for that next story. But I don't. I also don't expect them to push every storyline further. I mean, it's gonna take a couple of days. We gotta watch each show to see things further along. They just started planting the seeds for the rest of the card. You gotta think about it. We already know what some of the matches are gonna be at WrestleMania. Now you got to feel the rest of these two
Yeah,
nights.
yeah.
So now and I think that's what some of these matches and things they created that's going to lead up to WrestleMania is what they're doing. It's just we're going to need a couple of weeks to see. Okay, now we see where you're going. I mean, Omos wants to challenge Brock Lesnar. What's up,
Huh.
Kevin? So it's like that. That's a okay. Where's that going? Bobby Lashley's beating the hell out of Elias. Bray Wyatt still ain't showed up and made no notes about nothing. So I guess we're gonna have to wait till Friday to hear about what he got to say about that. Uh, I don't know, man. I don't know, but they did some storytelling. It was just very vague. Some of it was important, some of it wasn't. Let's just be honest. Some of it was just kind of like, we need to fill time. It felt like an old school kind of Raw
Yeah.
when Vince was running it. Yeah.
How about that? Benny Mac Raw?
Yeah. It felt like a Vinnie Mac Raw, just a lot of segments, not a whole lot. I mean, Theory and not Theory. I mean, yeah, Theory and Edge fought. I mean, Dolph Ziggler and Mustafa Ali fought, but that's kind of like I don't care about that. Like that ain't even like it's not even interesting to me. Like they're both cool, but you know, I need them to do something else with Mustafa Ali, man.
Yeah. And my thing is, okay, I didn't plan on talking about Ali, but I mean, I kind of you brought something up because I actually like Ali a lot. Ali is one of those rare guys when he's in that rarefied air when it comes to like reinvention of gimmicks. I'm talking about the Chris Jericho's, I'm talking about the Matt Hardys, I'm talking about the Bray Wyatt.
No, I'm not putting him. No, he's not on that level.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish. I'm not. He's not on that level because WWE isn't pushing him on that level. Every single time Ali's come back with a gimmick and they shot it down, he's come back with a gimmick that could work had he gotten the proper push. My thing is this: it's not like Ali's just coming up with dud gimmicks, gimmick after gimmick after gimmick. It's like, okay, the hacker thing that started out, it could have been something. WWE killed that shit with the Retribution storyline. Then he's going to be the angry Muslim guy. Okay, that started off like it could have been something. Then again, they killed that and made that a joke. It's like, I feel like every time he kind of gets something that where you can kind of get going with it, they put him in some goofy ass storyline and then it just kills the potential of it. That's
true.
Because like in the ring, he's good. Charisma wise, I think he's good and he can hold a decent promo. It's just I feel like every time he starts to get a little bit of buzz, it's almost like there's a certain ceiling that they will allow him to cap out at. And once it seems like that gimmick might go somewhere, like, nope, back at the bottom of the card for you, buddy. Like, nah, we don't want you to get that. Right. That's not your place in life, So that's my thing. Like with the Dolph Ziggler thing, I feel like this could be something big, but I just know it's going to end up to him getting buried at the bottom of the card again.
Oh no, it's just gonna be a Raw TV show thing. That's all. I don't see much of it being big on pay per view. It'll just be something that happens on TV. Uh, I mean, I like Mustafa Ali. I'm not saying I don't like him, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if each one of those characters would have been actually good. Like, yeah, maybe one or two of them, but I didn't feel that way about all of them. I didn't see what you saw in all those potentials.
Well,
I
I'm not,
mean,
I'm not saying like all of them would have had massive success. I'm just saying that.
but not even in the sum. I don't even see that many in the sum that you
Mhm.
see. That's what I'm saying. Like I see less than what you see. So it's like, all right, but I still like him in ring. I
Yeah.
just feel like that he needs to go. Man, he can go back to NXT. I ain't
You
even
know
lie.
crazy? Hey, Kimberly,
He can go back to what's going on, Kimberly. He can go back to NXT.
somebody else said the same thing. They're like, man, this Ali right now should be killing it in NXT. And I feel like, dude, if you're not going to use Ali, send him back to NXT. I feel like, he would. I feel like he would probably even have like a Finn Balor type resurgence in NXT. Now, I'm not saying he's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
come back. I'm not saying he's gonna come back up and be what Finn Balor is now back on the main roster. But I feel like if
No,
he
no,
goes
no,
to
no, no,
NXT,
no.
I feel like he'd be down and he'd kill it. Like I feel like you could really build NXT around a guy like
Yeah, yeah.
Mustafa.
Yeah, no. And he would and he would put on good matches with the talent that's down there. So he would, and he would have a better use of his time and his ability. And that's what I would rather see for him. I
Yeah,
mean, you see what he's doing for Apollo Cruz. I mean, I wouldn't say his match with I wouldn't say I liked his match with Brian Breaker, but I definitely liked the Cruz's match with Carmelo Hayes.
yeah,
So it was certain people that he was going up against that. Yeah, it was like, you know what? I actually like that match. I like seeing him being used to the best of his abilities. uh, you know, Other than what we got to see on the main roster. Even though there were moments where he did get to have moments on the main roster, but for Mustafa Ali, I
yeah.
say, man, let that man go back to NXT and let him just go down there and just be like, you know what? I need to refine tool myself. Like maybe that should be his new gimmick. I mean, it's almost kind of similar to the Lacey Evans, but you can uh you can finesse it better because I think he can finesse that better. I think
Yeah.
he can use that. Be like, you know what? Yeah, I might have had a not a great run at the main roster, but hell, half of you probably won't even make it to the roster. And instantly, he can have a feud with a few of those nice young stars that come up, and they can both build themselves up. So yeah, man, like just send them back down there.
Let's see. What did Kim say? Kimberly says, "Yeah, NXT has been a really good source from some superstars to get a fresh start when they come back. Like I said, Finn Balor,
Yeah,
Mandy
yeah.
Rose, I will.
Not no. Has she came back? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. So that's that. And then, like I said, we got a bunch of filler stuff. We got Austin Theory shooting on Edge, and of course, shooting on John Cena, who's going to make his return in a few weeks at the TD Garden in Boston as we get ready to set up John Cena versus Theory for the U.S. title at Mania. So we got that. We got a recap of Asuka and her Elimination Chamber win. Asuka also fought Nikki Cross, picked up the victory. Asuka and Belair had a quick little stare down in the ring in which Belair sold the evil blue mist of Asuka. So we had that. You
I
got
mean, it's not that it's evil. It's just crazy. It's just that this bitch crazy. Like this, like damn, you really just go stand here and just me like you ain't looking weird. Like what's like that? It was like what's wrong with you? But that's what I like about Oscar, man. It's that awkwardness, but yet it's like, yeah, man, but she can go. That's the
yeah,
thing. It's like she can go. So it's like, all right, okay. I ain't. She, Bianca thinks she ready. She ain't
yeah.
ready. She ain't
Ooh.
ready. She ain't ready.
And speaking of ain't ready, man. So we had the Miz versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins curve stomped his ass into oblivion. He won the match via ref stoppage. And then we got all right. All right.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay. Woosah franchise. Woosah, man. You ain't even had nothing to drink yet. Damn, this is the wrong episode not to drink. Okay. We got Ding Dong Hello. We got Bailey and Damage Control.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at the fact that we got Becky Lynch came out. She made it known she wants some tag titles. She felt like Damage Control ain't really defended it since they had it all like that. And then, of course, you got WrestleMania coming up. Yeah, you need somebody. I'm here. I'm with it. You got Lita, the Hall of Famer, who was known for her rivalry once upon a time with Becky Lynch. And then, of course, she came back and helped Becky Lynch a few weeks ago. And now she's here. Also, allegedly, you had Trish Stratus because they were in Canada backstage to help set this whole 3-on-3 thing up. And then WWE sent her home for whatever reason. Who knows? It is what it is, allegedly. Let's put that out there. And then you had Lita and you had Becky Lynch come out in a very, very lackluster segment with Damage Control. Too cold. I'm gonna say something very controversial here because I absolutely love, and when I say love, I mean love with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Iyo Sky. You know how I feel about Iyo Sky. And I love me some
Mm-hmm.
Bay from the Bay Area. And God damn it, I love me some Dakota Kai. But Jesus, Lord, take the wheel, please. This title reign has sucked with these two. And you know what sucked
Mm-hmm.
even more? The fact that you had one of the greatest women wrestlers in Becky Lynch of the modern era and one of the greatest Hall of Famers of all time in Lita. They came out and this whole thing should have been electrifying. It should have been ruckus. It should have been rowdy. But what it felt like instead was it felt rushed and it felt generic and it felt cookie cutter. And I personally don't give a damn to see this match as of this moment. What are your thoughts on this whole setup?
I think the improvisation, excuse me, uh, of their conversation is the problem. I don't think I don't think they chose the right things to say. I don't think they didn't make it feel. It made it feel like a joke. And see,
Yeah,
the problem is Bailey. When Bailey talks, Bailey makes everything into a joke. Like sometimes Bailey can say some stuff, and Bailey can go, but it's
yeah.
like, man, it comes off as a joke from Bailey. There's no serious tone.
It's
Nothing
called
that make it people like, oh right. Dakota ain't there on the promo side. So
yeah,
her talking just gonna make it worse. EO can't do English. So it's just and Oscar and her so it's like, no, you can't have that. And then Becky, I don't know. Becky's Becky, and then Lita just comes out of nowhere. That's just really what it is.
yeah,
So I feel like, maybe if there was something built to it by Bailey that led or something that led to Lita being more involved, maybe it would have felt different. But it felt rushed because this is the first time that they're saying it.
yeah.
They oh well, Becky Lynch wants to. She won her match. She wants to fight for the. She lost out on a championship opportunity. They both did to go
Right.
after the Raw Women's Championship. So she's like, well, y'all ain't been doing nothing, and that's a way of saying, y'all, that they haven't been doing nothing. I mean, even though Dakota Kai and Io have defended the tag team titles,
Yeah.
but they haven't really been pushing women's tag team. Now I know some people are like, just get rid of the titles, but I feel like you can keep the titles, man. You just got to put a little effort into pushing them or giving them opportunity to feel more important. You got enough women to have a few tag teams. You got enough women to have your singles rivalries also. So I feel like, man, you just need to have that perfect balance. And once they can figure it out, because I think now they've got the quality of talent. Now it's
Yeah.
just about finding that balance. So if they can figure out to get that balance, then I think they'll be all right. But right now, for the current run, it has sucked. No, not gonna lie, not gonna debate it, not gonna sugarcoat it whatsoever. It has sucked. It's time to get the titles off of them. Um, they've kind of dropped the ball with damage control, but damage control kind of dropped the ball with themselves. They've
Mm,
taken too many losses. Uh, you know, not enough credibility to me. Sometimes, uh, yeah. So yeah, it's time. But I'm honestly gonna go a step further and say maybe it's time for a breakup. I think damage control can get broken up and they can move on.
yeah. Kevin Smith says this match to me is just to build a little more credibility for Damage Control going to, excuse me, going into WrestleMania when they had their match against Ronda and Shayna if it happens.
Now, if they do a fatal four way, like if they do like that, do a fatal four way for the women's titles, and you add a Shayna and a Ronda Rousey with a Lita and a Becky Lynch, a Damage Control, and then you add another fourth team, then that might be different. That's a different dynamic for WrestleMania. So if this is the plant for that, cool. But I just feel like I felt like the way they just went about it and the way they just put it together. Yeah, it just felt like the joke that they've been doing this same stick for a while. And I'm not gonna forget, let's not forget, when they did that original ending to the cage match, I feel like that killed anything that they people had for
Mm,
this rivalry.
yeah.
I think when they we were expecting to have that cage match when we first got it and we didn't get it. And I feel like that really killed the momentum for them. So now it's not really going anywhere because it's kind of like you kind of just over it and you just want to see someone better. This is why I wish a Nikki Cross and a Piper
Niven.
Evans, yeah, I wish that they would come together and be that fourth team and get the titles, and then they can kind of let them run roughshod. Let these two crazy chicks just kind of go all over the place, just beating up people and challenging and beating them for the titles. I think that would be different. Like for a women's tag team, just kind of working around, just whooping all the other women's ass. Why not?
Yeah. Last thing
What
before we
did
get out.
Leo say at the end? Leo said something at the end. I don't know.
What did he say?
I don't know.
No, he just said the women's tag titles could be trash. Come on, what are we doing with them?
I mean,
I wanted to see, but okay. Ah, damn it. All right. So,
I
all
just
right.
want them to give a little effort. I think if they give a little effort, now that they have the more quality of women's wrestlers, I think they can really become a little bit more legit. I just need them to put a little effort to it. So I'm maybe hoping this will add to it, but we got to see. That's the problem. What we got to start off, it's terrible. It just makes you not care anymore. So I want to see what happens by the time they get to WrestleMania.
And then my thing is too, I don't think you should trash the women's titles because the women, are, you already had
They
those.
need titles too. You can't have all these men's belts and
No,
just
no.
have the women with the two
Well,
titles. You got to be fair. You got to give them opportunities.
well, that's my point. That's my point exactly. Because the women they are already don't have a lot to fight for. So when they get these opportunities, they
Exactly.
need. And again, we can't be sitting up here bitching like, oh, well, AEW they don't do anything for the women, and then WWE is doing something for the women to a degree, and then it's like, oh, well, yeah, let's throw them titles away, let's unify them titles. But like I say, I will say, I don't know what it is about WWE and the women's tag division. I don't know why it is so hard for them to book that specific division. Like I don't
Because
know.
Vince didn't know what to do. Because you got to think about it. The only consistent thing they did was Bailey and Sasha Banks. winning those titles, and then being dual champions, and then like that was the most consistent thing they had going on.
Yeah,
Part of the problem was Vince didn't never stick with a lot of the stuff that was going on,
yeah,
and it's hard to really create, especially now. Now you say when Triple H took over, it could have been something different. It could have, but he was still working with people coming back and people still being injured and people getting injured. So it was about putting together the right storylines with the right people. You got to think about it, man. Right now, if Rhea Ripley isn't healthy enough to come back, someone else is winning the Royal Rumble. So there's
yeah.
little things you got to look at, and we just got to have a little patience with it. But I'm going to give this its last run. I'm going to hope that they do something with these to really bring it up a little bit more. But at the same time, man, the women got to have something to fight for. And I think now with the quality of women that they have, I think they can really happen.
Leo says, I would prefer to see a women's mid card title over the tag titles. They just can't book the
I
tag
know.
division. Yeah, they're
Well,
a lot.
well, well. AEW beat them to that already. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see. This is the one thing I will say. I will say I've noticed, and I know this is WWE stream, but the hell with it, because this is the hood for. We talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. You know why? Because
right,
it's for the
man,
people.
right. This is a wrestling report. We just happen to talk about WWE.
I will say, um, even though AEW and yes, good old franchise and Tuco, we have been huge proponents of this as well.
Mm.
Even though a lot of people, especially in the past, in the beginning stages of AEW, we kind of didn't agree or were fans of how or the lack of booking or proper in-ring time given to the women or
Hmm.
any time at all on half the cards. I will say ever since Soraya has come to AEW, and she's made it known that she talked to Tony Khan about that, and I've noticed the women have been getting more opportunities. Could there be more opportunity? There can always be more opportunity. But the one thing I will say, for the most part, they might kind of suck doing storylines and important matches outside of the title picture, but I can say they've made the AEW Women's Championship and the TBS Championship feel important.
Yeah.
Now, have the
Well,
reign been great all the
yeah.
time for everybody? Not necessarily, but I feel like there's at least been a spotlight on the women champions.
Well, right now, Jade is she's the TBS champion. She's the inaugural champion. She's been the longest reigning champion, and right now she's the most dominant champion.
Yeah,
With the AEW championship, yeah, because you've had some respectable women. Because I think Sheeta won it, and people didn't really expect that from Sheeta, and
yeah,
she showed out. And then of course Britt Baker got it, and then Britt was Britt Baker. Um, Thunder Rosa got it. It started out to be okay, but it faltered because of injury. Tony Storm winning it and being a fighting champion like she was
yeah,
definitely helped.
yeah.
That
She really,
definitely helped.
yeah,
Right. That definitely helped as far as putting some respect on that women's championship because she was having some decent matches with different people. So it wasn't like she was just fighting the same people. She was fighting different people. And then
mm-hmm.
of course when you got Jamie Hayter winning it, and she's been fighting legends, Hall of Famers, she's fighting whoever wants to step up, and she's been having good matches, and the fans are behind her. So yeah, Tony, it hasn't been perfect. It has not it has not been perfect, but it has been some noteworthy things going on. And WWE's got to get there with the tag team titles because that's your secondary titles. I mean, you did a better job with Toxic Attraction in NXT than you have with
Yeah,
any other women on your regular tag team. Like how's the Toxic? I mean, Toxic Attraction, they were the hottest thing in NXT.
yeah,
They were the women's and the main and tag team champions. So now, come on, man, it's not like you can't do it. So
yeah.
that's my point. It's not like you can't do it. I
Right.
just need y'all to do it.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. And then of course, I guess the last thing, man, before we wrap up, I guess the last really noteworthy thing you can kind of call it is you had Cody Rhodes. He came out, said he got to finish the story. Paul, I will say this: This Paul Heyman promo really didn't hit. I feel like they tried a little too hard for shock value with this one. Paul Heyman pretty much alluding that he'll sleep with Cody Rhodes' wife because Cody Rhodes will have enough time to be at home with his wife and kids if he goes on the road as a champion. But what I think people fail to realize is that these motherfuckers ain't at home anyway, even if they're not champions, because they at home either for 2 days a week as a champion or not, because they gonna be either on the road as champion or in catering as a non-champion. So you know, to me,
I mean, but
on the road is on the road.
but I mean, no, but that wasn't no. Okay, Fra- damn,
Yeah,
dude. No, man. Okay, okay. Let me break that down.
you gonna either be away from your wife as a champ, you gonna be away from your wife eating salad and kale. Okay, well, either way, either way, if she gonna cheat, she gonna cheat. And I'm not saying she is. I'm just saying, Paul. Stop trying to make it seem like it matters if that man got the bet or not.
Okay, let me break this down for the people, man. What franchise is really saying is Paul was alluding to the fact that his own father, the great Dustin Rhodes, was always on the road and away, and that caused problems. And he was just making Cody feel a certain type of way because Cody remembers those days of his dad being gone. So that was the point. That was the purpose. Okay, just a little bit of translation through that, man. That was the meat and potatoes of what he was really saying. He just said a whole bunch of other outlandish things being Paul Heyman. And yes, it did fell flat a bit. I mean, it kind of just it didn't go down, but it didn't go up. It just kind of stayed where it was at, which is good. Like it didn't go down, but it's like, okay, well, we're still here, but we still got time. So okay, we're good. So it didn't go anywhere, but it didn't fall down. But uh I think now that it's kind of like official, Cody needs to show up on SmackDown.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I think that's what it is. We need a face off. Like we gonna get a face off. I mean, ain't no point in pretending. You better not stand on one show and the other person stand on the other show and not show up on the other show to talk to each. Nah, you better not do that. Like there better be a few face to face. I mean, you got the Usos. You can do a match. Cody can come down and face Jimmy or Jay or something like that or Sokoa or somebody. You could always do something. But I better not just see promos. One guy on one show and the other guy on the other show. Nah, man, I don't want to see that. You better give me more than that because you ain't gonna say enough stuff each week leading up to WrestleMania. You gotta. I mean, last night was a prime example. Like it might not have hit all the way, but it wasn't really what it. So I can't. You're not gonna expect greatness every week.
No, no, no. But no, so I mean, speaking of the meat and potatoes, that's pretty much what the meat and potatoes of last night was, man. It was set up, officially. We have no more
Yeah, that's it,
pay-per-views
man.
on the WWE side heading into Mania. So, like you said, it definitely felt like a very old school Vince McMahon Raw. Like this is probably one of my least favorite Raws under the Triple H regime, only because we've gotten so spoiled with match after match after match. I mean, it's still sports entertainment. It's still gonna sports entertain and do what it do, but we be getting a lot less of the BS under Triple H lately. So to get pretty much a show that was filled with nothing but promos and commercials, I'm like, God, this feels all too familiar.
And
But
it was 3 hours of it. So yeah.
yeah, I mean the fact that Sami Zayn came out, had his whole promo with Kevin Owens, got his ass beat by Baron Corbin through 2 segments before the match even started. I'm like, good God. And both those segments had commercials. I was just like, man, what are we doing? But hey, enough of all that. Because tomorrow, the GOW franchise, King Tuco, we coming to you live and direct with that Wednesday night block party, baby. And
Mm-hmm,
I can't
mm-hmm,
wait. I can't wait. I
mm-hmm.
can't wait because you know what? It's Wednesday night dynamite. And that boy, man,
Uh-oh. What happened?
hey, so
What's up? What
okay,
y'all?
this
Uh-oh.
I,
Uh-oh.
I I can neither confirm nor deny. Hold on, let me Google search this. Hold on, hold on.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I have no
Yeah,
idea what he's
Erica
doing, ladies and
Owani
gentlemen.
called Tony Khan the snowman. Hold Okay, so there was so after Ariel Helwani and Tony Khan had their back and forth. I guess allegedly Ariel Helwani called Tony Khan uh, a snowman. If you
Oh
get
yeah,
what
that was yeah. I know. That was
I'm
like last week when he did that. Are you just not hearing about it?
bro, I was like, damn, really? My boy
I thought
called,
you knew.
bro. He called
I
TK
thought you knew.
Jeezy. He called TK Young Jeezy. Oh,
Yeah, no, well, no, not young Jeezy like that. But no, I thought you knew. Man, I ain't realize. I thought you knew that, man.
nah, man, I didn't know, man. You mean to tell me TK and Velveteen Dream been hanging out? All right, man, that's a whole nother
Man, hey, look, I don't, man, look, hey, I wasn't there. I couldn't tell you.
allegedly, just playing. He didn't say that, but I don't know if he did it. So we
Hey, but no, I had heard he had called him that, but that was like, that was before the Michael Cole had called out AEW. That's what led up to Michael Cole talking shit. So because Arani or whatever dude name had called
yeah.
TK that, and then TK had said something, and then Michael Cole says, I thought you knew all that, man. I didn't realize you had just. I thought you knew, bro.
I was wondering what all the hostility, bro. As I'm watching SmackDown, didn't have to be on Twitter. I thought so. It was a fake Tony Khan page, and I realized it was real. I'm like, bro, where did all this hostility come from? Oh, because he showed up on SmackDown. Like, I was so lost on where that came from. And then he threw shade at Tony Schiavone at the same time. I'm like, damn, what Schiavone do to you?
Yeah, I didn't get that one, man. But then that's what led to the TK's that snowman because he tweaking, he tweaking.
Oh man! All right, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be here, man, making it rain or snow on the Wednesday night block party.
Making it rain or snow. Well, man, hold on, man. We got some comments here, man. Hit some of these comments up before we get out of here, man.
Let's see what the fuck they talking about. Hold on, where we at? Uh,
We say Earl says all of these Heyman promos are leading me to believe that something brewing with him. He's promoting too much for there not to be a reason. I mean, that's Paul.
but
Uh,
Paul always do that. Anytime Paul, one of his guys, is involved in the big match. Think of every match that Brock Lesnar's been involved in. There's been matches where you knew Brock Lesnar gonna absolutely beat the piss out of his opponent, but but Paul Heyman gonna sit there and sell it like it's a must see. That's what he get paid the big bucks for. Uh, let's
He
see.
was like Leo says, did you hear what Paul said KO at the end of Elimination Chamber? Interesting stuff. Remember what he said to the Usos, stay home and you will hear things that you don't see live. Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Leo then questions franchise, what's going on? and, and then of course he's like too cold stuff, like, man, you ain't heard that last week.
It's like I
uh,
heard about it. I just didn't have a timeline for reference, and I didn't have everything in chronological order. I heard Snowman, and I heard Fraud like Shabani, and then I seen Ariel going on a podcast.
I got it now. I got it. Thanks, Leo. I got you now.
Because which is a joke because Shabani isn't okay. So
Okay.
here's the thing about Tony Schiavone.
Okay.
Because Tony Schiavone is known out in these streets outside of the wrestling business, especially when it comes to college football. Like in Georgia, Tony Schiavone is a god out there. So it's like,
Yeah, but he's not a reporter. He just does some reporting. He's every now and then he'll go do an interview. He ain't reporting the interview. He'll go do an interview. So he's more of a commentator interview. And I think that's maybe
okay,
the look,
I get it.
the gist of what it is. It's like when you think of Tony Schiavone, you don't think of him like Renee. Like Renee's reporting. Renee's doing she's interviewing, reporting, getting news. Where Schiavone, he's commentating, man. That's all that is. He's commentating or he's doing an interview in the ring. He said, "Yeah, man, Schiavone gets no love except DMD," and that's the he gets love. Tony gets love, man. That's Schiavone. That's
I,
Schiavone, man.
love,
Schiavone gonna always be the man.
I love Schiavone. He come in, hey, my boy went to Akbar up
Oh,
there at the corner and got them big diamond joints. You feel me?
hey, look here, man. Let MJF walk out, boy. That boy will flip in a heartbeat, man. Skill, he will say the most nicest names. And as soon as MJF, oh, here go this, here go this putz. I'm like, dude.
But it is funny because like the level of hatred, it almost reminds me of JR when Triple H used to come out back in the day. He's like, that son of a
Me,
bitch.
Leo. I won, Leo.
Oh man.
I'm up. Yeah, your boy. Yeah, I'm up.
Here we go, man. You know, for people,
Hey, your boy. Hey, your boy asked. I had to answer him. Your boy asked. I had to answer
people act like they ain't never been outside the city before, man. What a shame.
him. You stupid. Man, let's get out of here, man. Let's go, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, how's your kids? How's the wife?
Uh,
Thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Generation Wrestling Podcast. As always, yours truly, the 29-year-old piece of gold. He's King Too Cold. And tomorrow we coming to you live and direct with that Wednesday night black party. But until then, we'll see you when we see you. Peace.